Yet another feature of microeconomics is it is a general equilibrium analysis. Yes, general equilibrium analysis. Before going ahead and understanding what is general equilibrium analysis, let us understand what is equilibrium is. Equilibrium is balance. If there are multiple things happening, how they can create a balance, a harmony amongst them. So, in simple word, equilibrium is balance in various variables. So, what is general equilibrium analysis? Well, in macroeconomics, we understand or we try to take into consideration economy as a whole. So there is an equilibrium in the whole economy is being assumed in the concept of macroeconomics. I'll explain this in a greater detail with the help of microeconomics. So that comparison will be standing out and you will be able to understand this concept in much more clarity. See, in microeconomics, what we assume that there is a partial equilibrium. So what we do, if there are, for a particular thing, there are various variables acting on it, we try to assume all of them are constant, and at a time we are just trying to concentrate on one variable. Let's say we want to study price, we'll assume all other parameter, demand, supply, employment, income, all other variables constant, and we'll just try to understand the effect of price. And that's where microeconomics, we don't try to understand the interdependence, the relationship between the multiple variables. And we try to understand only one variable at a time and keeping other variable constant. That is partial equilibrium. On the contrary, exactly opposite, in macroeconomics, it is assumed that this general equilibrium is basically a concept that everything depends on everything else. So what we assume in macroeconomics, or what we take into consideration in macroeconomics, is that all these variables or most of the variables affecting the situations are studied simultaneously. Their interrelationship, functional relationship, interdependence, all those studies, all those things are studied at the same time. I'll try to explain this with another example. Let us say if I want to study aggregate demand. Aggregate demand will not be studied alone. Aggregate demand will automatically be studied along with aggregate supply. Their functional relationship, causes of fluctuations, interaction between them, how one affects the other, which in turn helps us to understand the general price level of a commodity. In turn, it helps us to understand national income and employment of the economy. So if you understand, we try to understand one variable in macroeconomics. No, it is to be studied in the context of overall whole economy as a one. So it's not just one variable, or most of the variables are studied simultaneously and their interdependence, interfunctional relationship are studied. So in nutshell summary, another feature of macroeconomics is it's a general equilibrium analysis. So here, instead of studying one variable at a time, that what we do in microeconomics, in macroeconomics, we try to understand the whole economy as a whole in an equilibrium state, and we try to understand the effects of various economic variables simultaneously. Their interdependence, their functional relationship with each other, how they affect one another, and how the harmony, the equilibrium has been established, has been studied simultaneously. In simple words, if I want to study aggregate supply, I'll have to study aggregate demand, overall price level, national income, employment, national employment level. All those things has to be studied simultaneously, and their effects and interrelationships has to be studied together.